name's Josh with JoshWithGaming.com. I wanted to do a quick video. I haven't been very social lately. We've had the playoffs. The NBA playoffs. Go Celtics. That's what I've been doing lately, so I haven't in business. Selling a whole bunch of houses. So, I haven't put out a whole lot of stuff. Silver's been falling. Not super exciting. Sell in May and go away. It's an old phrase for silver, right? Sell the silver in May and go away for the summer. And they buy back in the fall. I don't know. It's an election year. Personally, I think the Feds are pushing off quantitative easing until after the election. Then they're going to unveil QE3. I think that they're pumping up the U.S. dollars at like 82. It's the highest it's been in the last year. I mean, it was at 80 and then it fell down to like 75, came back up. So there's some crap going on. We know that. And then the latest thing is this junk with Facebook. Okay, Facebook goes public. Facebook's been like huge for a while. And in my opinion, some of the greatest stocks the last few years, as far as companies that a lot of people followed, and the average Joe or the guy at the coffee house might be talking about, obviously Apple, and then Google, and I've Verizon. I've heard a lot of people talking about those three, because, what's been big the last few years? Cell phones, so you got Verizon and Apple. Laptops, computers, iPads, more Apple, Verizon too. Google is used on all those devices, and that's all just integrated more and more. And so, anyways, now Facebook it went public as an IPO. An IPO is an initial public offering. It's when a company sells to the public. Now, a lot of people think that an IPO is the first time that you can buy stock in a company. That is true for the general public, because it's the initial public offering. But there's people that go in and buy all these companies that go public before they ever go public, and they get to go in at a share price that's much cheaper and invest in, and these are accredited investors. Now, you have to have the SEC sets the standards, and you have to meet certain criteria. It has to do with income and assets, and there's criteria for a single person or a married couple to even invest in these type of vehicles. So your average, you can't just put money in your mutual funds. You can't even touch the investments. And it's no different in real estate. I'm in real estate full time. The average guy thinks because he's got a couple $100,000 that he's God's gift to real estate, and the real estate industry is just going to work for him and make him all this kinds of money. Come on, get real. No. And stocks are the same way. So there's the inside, and these are accredited investors, and then there's the public. And so a lot of people, when a stock goes public, it's meant to benefit the company. So they're not going to have an IPO for as low as possible. That'd be dumb. Now here's the thing. A lot of people are saying, okay, obviously we know it's tumbled. I think the IPO was $38. We're down to like $28. It dropped $3 today. It's been around for roughly a week or 10 days, whatever it's been. And people say, okay, well, they have a tenth the assets and a tenth the cash flow of Google, and they were valued at half of Google. Well, maybe it's so. Google doesn't have the social users Facebook has. They're trying to with Google Plus, and all this stuff's happening. I think Google stock's going to keep rising, at least for the time being. But, Facebook's got those social users, and that's what people are banking on. So, do I think it's going to keep falling? I do right now. I'm not recommending to invest in it or not invest in it. I'm going to see how far it goes, and I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to pick up any. Silver, if silver keeps falling, I promise you I'm going to pick up a lot of that. Because through the elections and QE3, these are things that I can predict, similar to like a weather pattern or whatever. Because we have these gauges. We have the Federal Reserve. We have the U.S. dollar. There's different gauges available to monitor silver. And there's this real estate, same things. You can look at the numbers, and this is what we do. We look at a report monthly, and we say, okay, here's our inventory, here's our price per square foot, what's the market doing? We adjust to what we need to do. Those are our gauges, it's our feedback. Silver has that, real estate has that, and stocks have that too. So if you want to follow Facebook daily and you want to get educated, then you can probably make a lot of money in Facebook. It doesn't matter if it's going up, doesn't matter if it's going down, doesn't matter if it's going sideways. You can probably make a lot of money if that's really what you want to do and you commit yourself to that financial literacy with stocks and with that company. But, Facebook, I don't know what it's going to happen. I don't think the stock's going to go away anytime soon, because I remember a couple years ago saying I think Facebook's done. Because I remember saying MySpace was kind of done. I was like, everybody's jumping on Facebook. And I remember a buddy being like, no, man, it just depends what circle you're talking about. And to an extent, he was absolutely right. But now no one's on MySpace. Everybody's on Facebook. And so when I did the same thing on Facebook, this was a couple years ago. This was back, I'm going to say May of 2010. So right at 2 years ago. And I said, I think Facebook's done. I can feel it. Seems like more people are blogging. I think, I think Facebook's going down and it's going to be all these other social things. Well, no, because Facebook's been smart and integrated with all these other social things, including blogs. And, like, I know I get a ton of hits from Facebook to my blog. That's where, like, a huge percentage of my traffic comes directly from my blog. So Facebook's found a way to do smart things, and they're going to continue to do smart things. Which, here's another side point. Mark Zuckerberg. I heard somebody say this, or I read it. They're like, okay, Silver Futurist, that's who it was. He was saying, okay, when you think of like CEOs and leaders and stuff, like maybe Phil Knight, he didn't say Phil Knight, but I'm throwing Phil Knight in there, Nike. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, okay. These are like leaders you think like, okay, that person could run a company. It's like, we just don't get that feel from Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know. Just throwing it out there for discussion. Do you get that feel from him or not? Obviously, he's different than those other guys. I don't think anybody can argue that. So, I don't know. Just another interesting point. I mean, these things go back to fundamental analysis. That's what we're talking about. This is all fundamental analysis. Now, when you get into the technical analysis, too, look at the Fibonacci sequence and blah, 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 maybe we'll get down to $0. If you look at these, there's charts that could suggest that possibly Facebook could go to 0, which would be bye-bye Facebook. Or buy Facebook as much as you can. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be exciting. So, that's it, and we'll talk soon. Go Boston, down 0-1. Let's get the W. Leave your shit below. Talk soon.